color. They're blaming it because, you know, this guy right here, he says he's not getting in because he's white and the minority got in. So what is affirmative action? It's assisting those who are in need of it. We're trying to get everybody on a level playing field. We're trying to get everybody the same opportunities. We're trying to keep people, give them the opportunity they need to move up. Maybe if they've had a rougher past, they can, they're not being judged on their gender or ethnicity or sex. So the ultimate goal of affirmative action is to get rid of discrimination. We're trying to give people with different races the opportunities they need to get into the workforce. Maybe if they haven't had a good past, they can get an opportunity to get in the workforce and do their thing, and maybe that'll create a good step for them. And really, why affirmative action exists is because we live in the United States of America, and it's all about life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And this country is about opportunities. It's about taking something and being able to run with it. And affirmative action can really bring that to light and give somebody who maybe not was able to go to college the opportunity to. So why affirmative action? Why do we need training in affirmative action? Why would a company put an affirmative action plan in place for their employees and their company? Mainly to make them aware of what they're trying to do. We're trying to establish goals. We're trying to bring reason to why affirmative action is in place. And who needs an affirmative action plan? So not everybody needs an affirmative action plan. Each affirmative action plan or program is going to be different. There's no one set affirmative action plan. It can be custom to however your company wants it. You do have to have 50 employees, and you do mainly need to deal with the government. So a good one will be like the bank. They're taking money from the Federal Reserve, so they need to have an affirmative action plan in place. And banks are a real good example of that because most banks have more than 50 employees, and they take funds from the Federal Reserve. And like I said, not everybody needs to have one, but it's important when you have one that you have goals, that people understand why you have an affirmative action plan and why we're learning about it. What are you trying to accomplish when you have an affirmative action plan? Where are you trying to go with it? Are you trying to compete with other competitors in the industry as to how many, you know, women and ethnic people you have in your workplace? And what does an affirmative action plan does is it reduces lawsuits. And we all know that in today's world, everybody sues. Whether it's something important or not important, we're trying to mitigate risk. We're trying to keep risk down, and we're trying to make sure nobody's suing us over discrimination lawsuits. So you need to constantly analyze your affirmative action plan or program. You need to be making sure it's in line with your goals, with your organizational structure, with your policies, practices, and programs. It's very important that you do this maybe once, maybe twice a year. Make sure everybody's on the same page, and it's different for each establishment, like I said. So affirmative action goes into statistical analysis, and what this very simply is you're looking at what you have and then what you should have, and then you're looking at your competitors and how do you compare? Do you need to, you know, hire more ethnic people? Do you need to hire more women? Are you more male biased or more female biased? You really need to look at that, and then the Equal Opportunity Employment Manager plays a big role in managing your affirmative action plan. They really assist in getting solutions or any problems they may see. They play a huge part in making sure that it goes in smoothly and that it stays smoothly. So how to implement an affirmative action plan? Communication is vital. One of the first steps is plan invitation is to invite job applicants to self-identify. So give them a chance to say that they're, you know, African American or Asian. Let them put it on the application, and then you don't even have to ask those questions. So the 4 key components of a successful affirmative action plan is to plan, process, and then good faith efforts. You want to be doing this for a good reason. You want to be doing it for a reason. You want to be doing it not because you have to, but because it's the right thing to do, and it's going to result in something good coming about it. And the third step would be awareness training. Train your employees on affirmative action and what it's doing. And then last one is risk mitigation. We're trying to avoid those stupid lawsuits that everybody wants to sue about, and really try and eliminate discrimination altogether, which is nearly impossible. But if you have good affirmative action, you can do that. So support over affirmative action over the years has grown. From 1996 to 2014, more whites Latinos, African Americans, and Asian Americans all have increased their support for affirmative action. Mostly, surprisingly, whites have increased the most. So I don't have any personal with affirmative action, but this court case, Abigail Fisher sued Texas University. She claimed her race was held against her. She had to go to her secondary school, LSU. We all know how devastating that should be. You have to go to your secondary school, LSU. That's awful. This poor girl really suffered. One of the good quotes from Chief Justice John Roberts was, "The way to stop discrimination on the basis of race is to stop discrimination on the basis of race." Basically, he's saying, knock it off. Stop discriminating, and we won't have any need for affirmative action. And of course, it's not discrimination if the government does it. So next is Edwin with diversity.
It's on pause, right?
Yeah.
Don't unpause it just quite yet. That reminds me of a quote, the last slide that you had by Mr. Miyagi, Karate Kid. Does anybody remember? The wax on, wax up guy. He said, "You either do karate or you do not do karate." I don't remember that. It's funny to me. But that was kind of that last one, right? Let's not do it.
Yeah.
You either do it or let's not do it. Well done.
Hi guys, my name is Edwin. Today I'll be talking about diversity. Okay, so what is diversity? Diversity encompasses acceptance and respect in the workplace. There's different ways, understanding that each individual is unique and recognizing individual differences. There's different ways, backgrounds, stuff like that. Why have a diverse workforce? There's three reasons: increase productivity, increase skill set, and attract and retain best talent. These are the three ways to have a diverse workforce. Okay, so increase productivity. If employees are comfortable speaking with their colleagues and expressing their opinion, but collaboration and teamwork thrive. More diverse workforces tend to have higher levels of morale. This in turn can increase productivity, like I said. Increase skill sets. The more diverse your employees are, the greater the set of skills and competencies are at your disposal, and increase your brand's ability to cope with an ever-changing market or increase innovation and creativity. Diverse skill sets have more tendencies to have more innovative ideas. Attract and retain talent. In a diverse workplace, employees are more likely to remain loyal when they feel respected and valued for their unique contribution. So if you foster a multicultural and inclusive environment, you can stand out to the right candidates. Increasing diversity in the workplace. There's three ways that you can increase diversity: recruitment, set goals, and remove barriers. Recruit for diversity. You can aim for such as increasing the percentage of women hired for top jobs. You can send representatives to job fairs in all-female college, or in other cases, if you want to bring in more minorities, to HBCUs such as Alcorn State or Cheney College. Set goals, not quotas. You can set targets to aim for such as increasing the percentage of women hired for top jobs. If companies choose qualified women over qualified men to help meet its goals. However, you can't just use gender as a basis. Removing unfair barriers. You can review your hiring and promotion policies to remove any unfair barriers towards women and minorities. Here are strategies for promoting diversity in the workplace, such as commit to boosting your own culture of competency, seek out new perspectives and ideas, treat others how they want to be treated, observe diverse traditions from other cultures, and contribute to the cultural diversity of your own workplace. Commit to boosting your own culture of competency. Learn about different cultures and traditions and approaches, how they work, and get to know colleagues from different backgrounds and countries. That way you can be informed how they do business. Actively seek out new perspectives and ideas. People from different cultures and backgrounds may take different approach to business issues. Take, for example, in Japan, they have different cultures and customs than people in the United States, vice versa. People in South America do stuff differently than here. Treat others how they want to be treated. The platinum rule. It's observe diverse traditions, celebrations, and holidays from other cultures. Diversity and inclusion activities. You know, sponsor events at your workplace. Diversity events such as not Cinco de Mayo, but have different for Hispanic Heritage Month, African American Month, stuff like that. And challenges of diversity in the workplace. 3 key ones: communication, resistance to change, unheard voices. One big one is communication. First off, language barriers. Anytime there's diversity in the workplace, language is always going to be an issue. And ineffective communication of key objectives results in confusion, lack of teamwork, low morale. If key objectives are not set forth, low morale can be an issue. Resistance to change, fear of the unknown. Employees do not like change. If they don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, they will not give forth better effort today. Unheard voices. Colleagues from some cultures may be less likely to let their voices be heard. Some cultures, they're shyer. They don't like to be outspoken. In Japan, they'll tend to stay in the back of the pack and just follow everyone else. To recap, I spoke about what is diversity, why have a diverse workforce, increasing diversity, strategies for promoting diversity, and challenges of diversity in the workforce. Up next is Gianna with EEOC.
Okay, so I'm going to be talking about EEOC, and that stands for Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. And it's really, really broad, so we're just going to talk about what it is, who's protected by it, and how you can practice EEOC and affirmative action in your workplace. Yeah. Okay, so EEOC, once again, stands for Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, and it was brought to life by the Congress. It's to help legalize discrimination in the workplace by sex, race, religion, culture, basically anything that would prevent you from getting hired. Sorry. So it started in 1965. It was a year after the Civil Rights Act, and it's specified in Title VII of the Civil Rights Act, and it's to make sure that discrimination doesn't happen in the workforce. Congress wanted to make sure that this was specified for all the businesses. So the first one is age discrimination and the ADEA. Age discrimination happens in the workforce when you're unfavorably treating someone just based on their age. The ADEA stands for the Age Discrimination Employment Act, and that protects people of age 40 and up. So the ADEA does a few things. It promotes employment for older workers. It helps them continue to look for jobs. It prevents discrimination before it even happens because it's regulated, and it also solves problems with the older crowd, so they know what to reference if it's okay to do this or not okay to treat someone a certain way. There are 3 types of discrimination. So employment discrimination is basically seeing the applicant and not hiring them, or seeing how old they are and not asking for an interview. Then there's also